This was not just the fall of an empire. This was the collapse of something that once seemed unbreakable. The Persian Empire was not small, not weak, and not unstable. It was one of the most powerful systems the ancient world had ever seen. It controlled vast lands, immense wealth, and armies that stretched across continents. For generations, it ruled without challenge, without fear, without doubt, and yet, in a short span of time, everything changed. Power turned into pressure, control turned into chaos, and stability turned into collapse. The question is not what happened. The real question is, how does something this powerful disappear completely? At its height, the Persian Empire represented one of the most advanced and powerful civilizations of its time. It was not built overnight. It was built through generations of conquest, administration, and control. Its territory stretched across vast regions, connecting different cultures, languages, and societies under a single authority. But what made it truly powerful was not just land. It was structure. The empire had systems of governance that allowed it to manage distant regions. It had administrative control that connected cities separated by thousands of miles. It had economic strength that allowed it to fund massive armies and sustain long campaigns. From the outside, it appeared stable, almost eternal. Even its enemies respected its scale. Even its rivals feared its reach. It was not just an empire. It was the definition of power in the ancient world. And because of that, no one believed it could fall. But beneath this surface of strength, weakness was forming, slowly, silently. Every empire carries within it the seeds of its own weakness, and the Persian Empire was no exception. Its greatest strength, its size, was also its greatest limitation. Because controlling a massive empire required communication, coordination, and speed, and over time, those systems became strained. Messages took time to travel. Decisions were delayed. Responses were slow. In warfare, speed is not just an advantage, it is survival. But Persia's system was built for stability, not speed. Another weakness emerged in leadership. The empire depended heavily on central authority. When that authority weakened, the entire system felt it. The structure was strong, but not flexible. It was powerful, but not adaptable. And worst of all, the empire began to believe in its own invincibility. Confidence turned into assumption. Assumption turned into complacency. And complacency turned into vulnerability. From the outside, nothing seemed wrong. But internally, the foundation was becoming fragile. Not broken yet, but ready to break. The collapse of the Persian Empire did not happen in one moment. It happened step by step. Each battle was not just a defeat. It was a fracture in the foundation. The first crack came at the Battle of the Granicus. It was unexpected, a direct confrontation that Persia underestimated. For the first time, the empire realized the enemy was not just present, he was effective. Then came the Battle of Issus. This time, the stakes were higher. Darius III faced the enemy directly, and when pressure built, something critical happened. He retreated. A king fleeing the battlefield is not just a military loss. It is a psychological collapse. Confidence in leadership begins to disappear, authority begins to weaken, and the empire begins to doubt itself. Then came the final confrontation, the Battle of Gaugamela. This was not improvisation. This was preparation. Everything Persia had was placed on this battlefield, and yet, even at maximum strength, the structure failed. Alexander did not just defeat the army. He broke its organization. He dismantled its control. He turned preparation into chaos. And with that, the empire entered its final stage. To understand the fall of Persia, you must understand the rise of one man. Alexander the Great did not fight like traditional commanders. He did not rely on numbers. He did not depend on size. He depended on intelligence, speed, and adaptability. Where Persia moved slowly, Alexander moved fast. Where Persia relied on structure, Alexander relied on flexibility. Where Persia reacted, Alexander controlled. On the battlefield, this difference became decisive. He did not attempt to destroy the entire Persian army at once. Instead, he identified pressure points, weak areas, structural gaps, and he attacked them with precision. He disrupted formations. He stretched enemy lines. He created instability inside a system that depended on order. But more than tactics, it was leadership. Alexander led from the front. He was present in the most dangerous moments. He maintained control in chaos, and he inspired his army to believe in victory even in uncertainty. This combination, strategy and leadership, created something Persia could not counter, because Persia fought as an empire, but Alexander fought as a single, focused will, and in war, willpower can collapse structure. After the Battle of Gaugamela, the outcome was no longer uncertain. The Persian system had been broken, not in theory. In reality, control over regions weakened, communication systems failed, leadership authority collapsed, and the center of power began to dissolve. Darius III could no longer restore order. The empire that once stretched across continents could no longer hold itself together. What remained was fragmentation, independent regions, broken command structures, and fading influence. There was no single moment where the empire ended, because the truth is that it had already ended internally. The battlefield only confirmed what was already happening. The Persian Empire did not fall because it lost one battle. It fell because it could no longer function as one system. And when a system stops working, collapse becomes inevitable. The fall of Persia is not just history, it is a lesson in power. Even the greatest empires do not fall overnight. They fall when structure becomes rigid, when leadership weakens, and when adaptation stops. Because in the end, power is not about size, it is about survival. And only those who adapt survive.